Hello everyone, and from the future here. Somehow I managed to delete the intro I did for the video when I was recording it, so I will do just a quick one for this. So like I said, like 2-3 weeks ago, I wanted to do some tier list videos again. And I decided to start with fanfiction tropes before moving to some other like haiku related and stuff like that. So this is a fanfiction trope tier list. Obviously, keep in mind it's highly subjective. I of course give my input on each of the entries. There's a lot, over 100, and just keep that in mind. My preference is probably going to be different from yours. Or we can agree on things, obviously. Like, it's a matter of taste. As with all these things, it is. So don't come after me in the comments if you don't agree with me on anything. However, I welcome discussions. So if you have anything to say to each of the entries or the tropes and stuff like that, go ahead. Like, I will very gladly read all of that and we can spring out some discussion. Why not? I'm all for it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. It's time to expose myself again. Alright, welcome to the tier list. As always, let's go through what we have here. Give me more, aka S tier, dynamic / trope. Self-explanatory. Love this, cute, like it, with the right ship. Depends on what couple it's written for. It can be good for one, it can be a bit iffy for another. Depends on the ship. Depends on execution. Classic in my tier lists. Depends on how you write it. And nope, not for me. I think it's self-explanatory. Obviously, what I don't like, you can like. Again, this is highly subjective. And I'm actually thinking about adding one more to this. Okay, a little change. I added if used as a background. Because I don't want to put that into depends on execution, because that's not the same thing. So if there's something I like used as a background, then I will put it there. If you spend enough time around my channel and around my writing overall, you probably know what's going to end up in this category, but yeah, let's go. I don't think it's in... Well, it probably was, but I was trying some stuff and it got rearranged. Never mind. It was by alphabet, it's not anymore. Let's just go. So, age gap. Starting strong. Anyway, I'm not talking about age gaps as in the one person, usually the girl or the woman is like 18 or 19 and the guy is 50. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, I don't know, 10-year age gap, 15 years. Where, I don't know, one is 25, the other is 35, or 28, 40. Something like that. I like that. Like, it's a fun dynamic, especially when the older one is the submissive one in the relationship. That's fun. Not used as often as I would like, but I've seen some good stuff done with that. Sometimes I like to artificially add age gaps into some AUs I write. As an example, the Kawagata Zombie Apocalypse AU I have in my notes, where I put Taichi on 24 and Hayato on 36, I believe, or something like that. It's fun! It's fun! Age gaps are fun if done right, and I don't understand the recent discourse about age gaps. It's stupid. Moving on. Angel and Devil. I like good omens. Let's say that for the beginning. But even if it's not a literal angel slash literal devil, it can be a really fun dynamic, like the good boy, bad boy dynamics, or good boy, bad girl, and stuff like that. You can do a lot with this. Yeah, it can be cute. Childhood friends to lovers. Yeah, can be cute. We have a lot of that in Haikyuu, Iwaoi, Kuroken, Tsukiyama. We have a lot of that. Coworkers. Yeah, that can be cute too. Why not? Even if you put like equal relationship dynamics with coworkers actual, or if you put some uneven dynamics where it's a employee and boss, can be fun. Usually the ships with rivals dynamic work quite well for coworkers, because then you have a workplace tension and it's fun. Obviously you can do that for the ones with friends to lovers dynamics, but I think the rivals are a bit more fun. Coffee Shop AU. Maybe a little overdone in some fandoms. I haven't read that many of them, so yeah, it can be cute. I've written one, I believe, so why not? It's fun. ABO. If you've been around my AO3, you probably know I love ABO. I'm not brave enough to put it on the channel yet. However, if there is going to be an interest, maybe we can do a little series with ABO dynamics, if you would like. I'm not against that. My favorite ships to put into ABO are Kyohaba, Kawagata, and recently Tanasho. Just because. There's not enough Omega Daisho content on AO3, and it's such a shame. I'm not even talking about Emprex, I'm just talking overall, like, ABO dynamics. Chatfix. It's my work, come on. Canon compliant. Yeah, depends on execution. If you are just rewriting scenes, can be kinda boring. I mean, it depends on where you put the limit of what is canon compliant and what is canon divergent. So, yeah. Speaking of canon divergence, that's why we write and read fics, isn't it? So, yeah. Baby fic. If we are talking about Emprex, like Aftermath, let's say, yeah. Gimme. The stress of being new parents. Great for angst. You know me, I love angst. If we are talking about... I'm not sure if it's somewhere in this. It doesn't seem like it. Okay. Then there's accidental baby acquisition, which is super entertaining because suddenly you have a ship that has to take care of a child who is most probably not theirs. And they weren't ready for that at all. But they feel too bad to, like, not take care of the child. So that's fun too. And if it's single parenting, you have me sold. But because I don't know which one of those it is, I will put it here. Maybe there is single parenting somewhere. Comedy. Very much depends on execution, because if the person who is writing the fic doesn't know what they are doing, then it can get real cringe real quick. However, if the person who writes the comedy fic knows what they are doing, it can be super entertaining. Cheating. This is exactly why I put this category here, because if it's done as a background for one character and used as a way to explain why they are, like, hesitant to get into a new relationship and stuff like that, great. angst. Hurt comfort. Good. If it's done in between the couple you are supposed to be rooting for, nah, that's not a thing, for at least for me. I don't like cheating. Breaking up. Speaking of, no, not for me. Well, technically it depends how it's used, because if it's used as the second act breakup, where the couple, or supposed to be couple, argues and then go their separate ways for a while to get together in the third act of the novel, which is quite a typical composition of romance novels, then that's fine. That's angst. We like angst. However, if it's like actual breaking up because the love just isn't there anymore, or as a result of cheating, whatever, no. I don't like that. I can do unhappy ending if it's with one of the characters dying, the consequences, but I can't do unhappy endings with the love disappearing. That's just too painful for me. Brother's best friend. Depends. And best friend's brother, let's put both here because it's very similar premise. And it's one of those things that were so overdone by young adult and romance novels in the recent, like, 10 years. It's became, like, really tiresome for me to look at or even read that as a premise. Obviously, you can do interesting things with that, but usually people take the easy route out. And it's just boring, to be fair. Angst. Yeah, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you will learn soon. Anyway, case fic. For those who don't know, case fic is a thing where the characters are solving some mystery or crime that happened, and they can get together, they don't have to get together throughout the story. Depends on the person who is writing that. I am very disappointed that there aren't many case fics in Haikyuu fandom, at least for the ships that I read for. I think the Monster Hunter series I write, which is on hold indefinitely for now, is kinda considered case fic because they are dealing with a mystery. But yeah, I love this. I love mysteries. I love crimes. So, or like in fiction. Disclaimer for YouTube, we do not endorse crime. Just in fiction. Arranged marriage. Love it. Give me more. Love arranged marriage. Even if you write the arranged couple not ending up loving each other, and just becoming friends, for example, or just cohabitating and then dating someone else while still having the front of being in a marriage, it's fun. The dynamics are fun, especially if you put like some fantasy AU in there or historic AU in there. Yes, I'm looking at the bond between us, Kyohaba story. I like arranged marriage. What can I say? Especially for the ships that have like this somewhat feral dynamics between them. Like Kyohaba, like with Kyotane being rumored to be feral, even in canon. It's fun. It's fun. Like the discovery journey of the character rumored to be feral is not actually, but it's actually really kind, but is putting up a front for whatever reason. It's fun. The discovery journey is fun. Accidental confession. Awesome thing. I'm probably not going to put it into Love This, but I like it a lot because all the pent-up tension and angst throughout the story is just coming to a burst. Let's say, when the two characters are arguing and suddenly do one yells, "Because I love you!" Awesome thing. 5+1 things. Yeah, it's a cute one. I've noticed a certain discourse about this too, when people don't like it, because it's one of the things that newer fanfics authors tend to write, because it's a simple premise, but I like it. It's a fun little thing, and usually it's very short, so it's great for one-shots. It doesn't have to be, obviously. Like, it can be 6 chapters, each containing 30,000 words. It can happen. Obviously, it doesn't have to be 2k word thick, but hey, still fun. Bank or die? With the right ship, depends. I have to say I haven't read any yet, because overall with the explicit sexual things, it's not something I would necessarily search for unless I am in a certain mind space or I'm searching for inspiration for my own smut fics, which there aren't many, but hey. However, I do have a VIP in my notes for Tana Show / Terusho Enotana. It's part of the Terusho Enotana universe on the channel. I'm obviously not going to be putting it on the channel. I'm probably not going to write it at all, but hey, it's in my notes. It exists, okay? And it's fun. Not for Darshio, but for me. Also, this kind of thing works quite well for the ships that hate each other, but keep in mind that this doesn't have to necessarily go into romantic feelings straight away. It can lead to a lot of trauma, which means angst and hurt comfort. Band AU. I'm going to count idol AU into this as well. Okay, depends on execution. It's not necessarily a thing for me. I don't know if it's because I am not really a fan of that many bands, or overall, like, I'm not a big band person, but I just don't see that much interesting going on unless it's like a band member and a fan, or idol and a fan. That can be fun. Like, the dynamic can be fun, but just the characters in band getting together, yeah. I've seen like Kyohaba Band AU. Obviously, Semishira is right there, even kinda canon compliant when you think about it. BDSM, nope, not for me. As previously said, I'm not searching for explicitly sexual things in my readings, and especially the kinky ones. I avoid that because it's just not for me. Like, I can do some dom / sub subtones, but no, I'm usually skipping over those. I don't like that, or I don't like reading about it. Amnesia. Very much depends on execution. It can be done well, it can be done very poorly. And if it's used as a cheap way to introduce angst, then why are we even here? But obviously it can be done in a way that introduces angst super well, which I'm hopefully going to achieve in the one idea I had, which you actually voted for. Not sure if you noticed what those emojis means. It was the first emoji poll. So you have something to look forward to. Spoiler alert. Abusive. Yes. This is also one of the reasons I added this category. Those of you who follow my Terusho Enotana storyline knew that was coming. From a mile away. Poor Suguru. I know. But it's great for angst. It's great for heart comfort. Yeah, I like to use past abusive relationships in stories and just like show the healing process and just the character being distrustful of the new relationship, the fear, the hurt and all that. It's fun for me, not for the character, obviously. But yeah, if it's in between the ship we are supposed to be rooting for, why? Why would I be rooting for someone in an abusive relationship? Like, the only thing I'm going to be rooting for is for the abused person to get out of that relationship. That's all, not for the couple. Crackfic. I have to admit, I don't actually fully know what a crackfic is, because, well, depends. Let's put it here and leave it at that. Body swap. No. I don't know why, but I just don't like those. I don't like reading those. I will never write one of those. It just feels as a strange concept for me, so yeah, not a thing for me. However, obviously you can do some interesting stuff with this, especially when you have the characters, again, that hate each other or best friends. Bodyguard AU. You know me. Well, part of you know me. But you probably know that I love protective characters. And how much more protective can you get than in a bodyguard AU? Because the bodyguards are the epitome of protectiveness. And give me more, give me more, give me more. Yeah, I love bodyguard AUs, especially for the ships that have size difference or height difference. Aofuta is incredible for bodyguard AUs. Like Aone as bodyguard, awesome. Kyohaba bodyguard. I have one. Unfinished. As a lot of the latest multi-chap picks. And I have a Kawagata bodyguard AU idea that will also probably never see the light of day, but the idea is there. Just any character you want to be protective to the other, bodyguard AU. Criminal and detective. Right up here with bodyguard AUs. It's just fun. Like having the one person who is either super stoic or super about rules and all that stuff. Or even you don't even have to have that, but just the servicemen of law, and they fall for a criminal they are supposed to apprehend and put into jail. That's so much fun. Like the dynamics is so much fun. The denial is a river in Egypt and also in criminal/detective stories. You can combine it with mafia AUs if you want. I have Kyohaba. Obviously, I have Kyohaba for everything. But yeah, I have Kyohaba like police/mafia AU with Kyotani as a policeman and Yahaba as a mafia member. Also probably never going to see the light of day, which is a shame because the idea is pretty good if I say so myself. Overall, if you have a character that is super strict on rules, fall for someone who just doesn't care at all. Fun. ABO dynamics. Not sure why ABO and ABO dynamics are separate, but love ABO dynamics, especially when you experiment in this. Obviously, you have the alpha-omega pairings, which is slightly overdone, but the dynamic can be interesting. Obviously, depends. But then you have alpha-alpha pairing, omega-omega pairing, alpha-beta pairing, beta-omega pairing. Or you can put polyamory into this, which makes it even more fun. Definitely not something I'm doing. Yes, I'm doing. Like, my first polyamory idea for a fake that I had was with ABO dynamics. and it's for Semishira Kawagata, with Semi and Hayato being alphas, Taichi as beta, and Shirabu as omega. A lot of angst, obviously. Bully and victim. No. No, no, no. This trend needs to die. Please. It's not enemies to lovers. Bully and victim is not enemies to lovers. I don't know how many times I will have to say this. No. Character study. Also not for me. I think it's because there usually isn't that much story for me to stay invested. It's like putting the character into a little aquarium and just putting different stimulus into it and watching the character react. Can it be interesting? Yes. Is it interesting for me? No. Crossover. Depends. I'm not a huge fan of that, but if you have an interesting crossover in mind, go ahead. Who am I to say no to that? College AU? Not for me. I don't know if it's because I'm in college myself, but it just never resonated with me that much. But I understand why it's interesting for people, especially for people in high school. Darkfic. I'm kind of hesitant to put it into cute because darkfics usually aren't cute. Okay, let's put it here with the red ship. Yeah, obviously darkfics are supposed to be super angsty, like using the dead dove do not eat tag in it. Darkfics can be super interesting in the way that the author is writing out their own trauma and using it to heal to a certain extent. That's fine, like that's awesome, and all power to those authors. Unfortunately, darkfics also have a stigma around them, where some people just look at it and be like, oh, why are you writing about this? Are you endorsing it in real life? Like, no, that's not how it works. Domestic, yeah, very cute one. Drunken confession. Why did I put accidental confession? That's pretty much the same. Especially with the added angst of the other person thinking they don't mean it and they are saying it just because they are drunk. Fun. And the other character doesn't remember it. Fun. I have a Kawagata for this. Fun. Dystopian AU. Depends. Can be done super Mary Sue. It can be done really well. I haven't read a single dystopian anything yet in my whole life. It's not necessarily a thing and setting that I would search for, but hey. Enemies to lovers. Depends on the ship, and also depends on execution. This one is like in between these two. The things that a lot of people consider or call enemies to lovers is usually not enemies to lovers. That's the thing. It's rivals to lovers, and that's a very different thing. If you have actual enemies to lovers, you have to put in a lot of work to rebuild that relationship and actually go from enemies to lovers in a believable way, which a lot of people just tend to skip, and it's a shame. So it depends on the ship, depends on execution. Established a relationship can be cute. I'm usually going in a pipeline of first getting together fics and then going into established relationship fics. Fake relationship. Hey, I like that one a lot. Like fake relationships, pretend relationships. Fun. Put a ship that is rivals to lovers or, well, enemies to lovers not as much, but usually rivals to lovers into it, or like mutual pining into it. Fun. Fantasy AU. Love these. You can do practically anything with this. Fast burn. Depends. Depends. I'm not the biggest fan of slow burn. I want to see them together at some point and not at the end of 500,000 word fic. But if it's too fast, then it's kinda like... meh. Where's the drama? I need my drama of them getting together. First kiss. Yeah, why not? Fun. First time. Can be done well. I'm usually not reading that because when you're writing actual first time from both sides, okay, let's just talk about both sides of first time. It can be really awkward and I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. However, if it's first time for just one character, then that can be interesting. So, depends. Fix it fic. Why not? If you need that, go ahead. Flower shop and tattoo artist AU. Yeah, I like this one. It's a cute dynamic, especially with the character who you would expect to be part of the tattoo shop or tattoo parlor being the flower shop owner and vice versa. It's the opposites attract for me in this. Fluff. You like fluff. Not as much as angst, because angst is fun, but you need to have balance. If you have a story that is just angst, then the reader is not going to enjoy it as much, or it's not going to be as impactful. So it's good to layer angst with fluff a little bit. Forbidden love. Love this. Also, drama, angst, hurt comfort. Yes. Found family. Depends. It can be done really well, like Spy X Family is a good example of found family. It's a fake family, but still. Or Windbreaker is a really good example of found family trope, and I love it. Friends to lovers. Yeah, can be cute. Why not? Friends with benefits. Not for me, as usual with the sexual stuff. However, obviously it can be used in a very interesting way. If you put pining into it, or unrequited requited love. Gay chicken. For those who don't know, it's when two guys pretend to be gay and the one who chickens out first loses. I've never seen a fic written for that, or with this premise before. Depends. Genfic with the right ship can be nice. Or technically, can I even put it here? Okay, depends. I'm not going to put it into the ship one because genfics usually don't have ships. Or don't have ships. Gender bend. Not for me. Listen, I was talking about it before. If you are bending genders of the characters to explore different dynamics, that's fine. Go ahead, all power to you. If you are bending gender of just one of the ship in order to have a straight ship out of a gay ship for homophobic reasons, no. Like, you can bend gender of one of the ship, but for dynamic exploration. Or I don't know if that counts if you put one of the characters as trans. Well, probably not. That's something else. But for exploration of dynamics, good. If it's for homophobic reasons, no. Hanahaki, not for me. I don't like the premise of that one. Like, I understand it's great for angst, but it's similar to soulmate AUs for me, where it's like you are not going to fall in love just one time. and you are going to fall in love with people who won't reciprocate. That's just how life is, and having to go through near-death experience because someone doesn't return your feelings is weird. I don't like that. Happy ending. Yes, obviously. Harem. Does harem count as polyamory? It could. I can see that happening. So let's put it here. The usual harem, like in isekais and stuff like that, I don't like. That's not something I would ever read out of my free will because it's stupid. However, if you are going to put a spin on it and make it a polyamorous relationship in a harem, that could be fun. Hate bank. No, not really. Not really for me. When I read smut in something, I want the characters to actually like each other. I want the emotions. I'm not there for the porn itself. Hero and villain. Awesome. Awesome thing. Again, similar to the criminal and detective. Or, you know what? Here. It's similar to the criminal and detective one. And plus you have the secret identities, which adds just another layer to this, and the angst potential is incredible. High school AU. Who cares? Who wants to go back to high school? No one. Historical AU. Yeah, can be done well if you do your research. Obviously, you can take some fictional liberties, but good, you can actually learn something from that. Huddle for warmth. Love it. Love this one. It's awesome. And again, especially with the characters that don't like each other, or at the front don't like each other. Hurt comfort. You love that one. Obviously, it's angst, in a way. Introvert and extrovert. Yeah, that's fun. That's basically half of my friendships, of me getting adopted by extroverts. Can be fun. It's like the sun and moon dynamics, which is fun. Like, I have a lot of ships with that. Kagehina is a prime example of that. Or if you are in JJK fandom, then Yuji and Megumi. That's also a prime example of sun and moon. Love-hate. Depends. Depends. Can be done well, can be done really bad. Love triangle? Depends. I actually changed my opinion on this one. Most of love triangles that are used in modern fiction are absolute trash, because it's not a triangle. However, if you actually do make it a triangle, good on you. Love triangles can't exist without at least one queer person, by the way. Also, I was kind of thinking about love triangles in a different light because of one idea that I have. Or you can have it end in polyamory, which is absolute blast. I think polyamory kinda shifted my view of love triangles. Thanks, Hannah. Lovers to enemies can be an interesting twist, but I like when the couple gets together at the end. So, Magic AU, fun stuff. Major character death. Consequences. I'm not going to be saying anything else. Miscommunication. As hated as this trope is, I love it. I love miscommunication. Don't come after me, please. Missing scenes. Why not? Modern AU? Not for me. It's an interesting thing because I like AUs, all kinds of AUs, for the characters who are in modern world setting and then get into fantasy setting, let's say, or fantasy AU. However, I don't like it the other way around. Like when, for example, with Genshin, if I see a modern AU, I'm not going to be clicking on that one. I'm not going to be reading that one. I don't know. I guess I just like fantasy AUs and I want a form of escapism. I don't want modern AUs in my fantasy settings. Murder and victim. Okay, I'm going to go against my earlier set premise with this one, but it can actually lead to a somewhat interesting dynamic if the victim survives, or if the murderer happens to fall in love with the victim before the actual hit and then the victim finds out. Fun. Or you can have it that the victim becomes a ghost and it's just haunting the murderer and somehow they end up together. I've never seen that happen. That was like a light bulb moment right here. That could be super fun when I think about it. Like a disgruntled ghost hanging around their murderer. That could be fun. Alright, mutual pining. Yes, we like that one a lot. Especially when both sides don't think that their feelings are returned. Nerd and jock. Yeah, can be fun. Why not? Can be cute. Unless it goes into the bully/victim dynamics, then we don't like it. One shot. Yeah, I like my one shots. I don't know why people are so against one shots. Only one bet. Very fun. Overdone? Yes. Still fun? Yes. Opposites attract. Yeah. I'm finding out a lot about myself when I look at my ships, and yes, most of them are opposites attract. Why? I don't know. Definitely. Polyamory. Love this one. Thanks, Hannah. I don't know, I have kinda like love-hate relationship with polyamory. Simply because it consumed my brain so much that I'm just looking for poly ships everywhere. But hey, I'm loving my stay in poly ships, so nothing to complain about. Practice kissing, can be cute. Like the feelings being woken up by the practice. Can be. Pregnancy fic, if we are talking MPreg, yes please. We like that. Or I like that. Porn without plot. No. Again, if I'm about to read smut, I need the feelings, I need the relationship, I need all that. So, without plot, moving on. Reincarnation. Not for me. I'm not the one to enjoy reincarnation stories. I understand why people like it, but it's not for me. Road trip can be cute. Why not? Roommates also can be quite cute. Depends. It can be enemies to lovers. It can be friends to lovers. It can be established relationship. Why not? Royalty AU. Top tier AU. One of the top tier AUs. Honestly. Sex compulsion. Nope. Again, sexual things. Sex pollen. right next to it. Sick fic. We love sick fics. The hurt comfort, the caring character, the protectiveness, and all that stuff. And seeing the other character in the worst state they can be and still staying around to take care of them. Mwah. Size difference. Moving on. Slow burn. Depends on execution. It can be quite tedious if it goes on for too long. But again, if they go too fast, where's the drama? Smut depends. If there's enough plot to wait it out and like enough feelings and enough relationship development, good. If it's just smut, not for me. Soulmates AU. No. I don't like soulmates AUs. I do get why people love them. I don't for that exact reason. Unless you put some twist on it. Star-crossed lovers. Yeah, it's kind of forbidden love when you think about it. I actually am writing a story about star-crossed lovers. Literally, star-crossed. Teacher and student. Depends. It's similar to age gap, but then on top of that you have the uneven dynamics and like in reality obviously the nature is quite problematic. However, this is fiction, so depends on execution. It can be fun, especially in college AUs and like college professor and a student because the students in colleges are usually over 20. So then the imbalance isn't that bad, like age-wise, but the power is still uneven, so depends. Time loop, not for me. Unhappy ending, depends. Depends on the cause of the unhappy ending. If it's because of major character death, can be something I would read. If it's because cheating, falling out of love, not really. Unrequited love. No. Requited love. Good. Not actually unrequited love. Good. I love that. Like actual unrequited love. Okay. If used as a background, that can be done. It can be done well. However, you are running into problems with the relationship that you want to pursue in the story, so it requires a lot of build-up. Vampire/werewolf AU. Don't call me out on my monster fuckery, okay? Which sounds kind of funny after all I've said about like smut-related things in fics I read, but monsters are an exception. Especially werewolves. Don't call me out on that. Villain and villain can be super fun. It's not done as often, which is a shame. Again, I am bringing up my Kyohaba Necromancer/Undead Knight fic that I didn't finish since last time. At all. I added one scene. But hey, it can be super fun because the villains just don't care, and the dynamic is super fun. And last but not least, YN insert. Not for me. I'm not saying that I've never read YN insert. I did. I am guilty of that. Guilty, obviously. But it's not something I would search for these days. Like, the X-readers are kind of annoying me at this point because it's usually when I'm searching for a ship fic and then all I find is X-reader. It's kind of tiresome. So, this is what we have. Again, please remember this is highly subjective and this is my look and my preferred fanfic tropes and dynamics. You can have it completely different, obviously. So thank you for being here with me today, and I will see you next time. And next time is actually going to be a Haikyuu related tier list. Or bracket fight, not sure yet, but it's going to be Haikyuu. And obviously we continue with the storylines on the channel you are familiar with. See you soon!